Hello and thank you for joining me here at Angie B Crafts. So today what I thought I'd do is just a really quick inspiration using these pre-stamped tags. These are available through Shiny Silver Treasures. They have an Etsy store if you are interested. It's Dawn Ditchburn who is the wonderful designer of these things. This is her July release, July 2022, and what I thought I would do today is show you the benefits of this. So if I turn one of these over, some people might look at tags and go, oh, tags are really nice, but I don't know what to do with them. That blank white space can be quite intimidating. So what Dawn's done is she's actually put colour on them, put a base on them. If you're not keen on being mucky like I am, then you may find it difficult to do the stamping, or even if you struggle with stamping because you've got health problems, because you don't have the right ink, you can't be bothered, you know, whatever the reason. Some people just don't like to stamp, some people get infuriated by it. Sometimes you just want to do something quick. If you want to, if you took that and put a sentiment on it, whether it be a piece of washi tape or a stick-on sentiment, you'd have a topper for a card. You would have something that you can attach. You have string that you get with these, which is a wonderful, it's a really soft string. It feels weird. It's baker's twine, but it just feels so soft. It's really pleasant to kind of mess about with. Anyway, that's by the by. But what you can do is have a really almost instant card topper or gift tag that you can use without putting a lot of effort into it, but it's a little bit different from what you normally see. So what I'm going to do today is actually just show you a couple of ways, well, a couple of different colourways of spraying these, just to show you it's entirely up to you what you do. So let me get my magic box, also known as an old Amazon box that I use as my spray box. I'm going to spray one on this side and then I use the other side for the other one, just to try and avoid some of the mix. So the first one I'm going to spray with Distress Spray Stain. So I've picked out dried marigold as an orange, picked raspberry as a pink, and fossilised amber as a yellow. You can use whatever colours you want. So all I'm going to do is just spray these on. Now what you will find as you spray the colour, you can see it's starting to bead. Now I don't know what the coating on these is. What I do know is where there is ink, there's actually more of a coating. Okay, so because of that you might see some changes where the actual ink is. Don't panic if you see that, that's fine. I'm just going to use the heat gun to just dry this off a little bit. So here we have the sprayed tag. So as I said to you, you'll see that there are like little dots where the ink is, and that's just to do with the ink being on top of the card. The card is not a mixed media card, so what you'll also find, I put quite a lot of ink on it, and there is also just some, I suppose you'd call it a pilling of the paper. It's just raising up slightly because it's not designed to take a lot. So if you're going to throw a lot at it, what I would suggest is put on a clear gesso coating first, because then it's going to be far more robust, but you'll still be able to see the image underneath. So that is one idea. Now what I thought was, instead of just doing another spray, is we could maybe have a go with putting some watercolour on and see how that works. So these are just one of my set of Jane Davenport watercolour, and I need some water. So I'm just going to spray the top of my colours. Now what should we do? This wasn't my original thought, but we'll try it and see. I think I might actually use, I've not brought some water in, so just bear with me. There we go. So we've got a little bit of pinky red going on. In fact, I might do that right the way up. So you can see with the watercolour you get a far paler look than you do with the spray ink. So that's one of the things that you can, if you're trying different products, think about what colour you want. Now what you see in here is where there is ink, so there's tiny dots of ink, and they're actually picking up bits of the watercolour, so you're getting the same effect as you did with the spray. I'm just going to wipe this table a little bit. There we go. Now I'm just going to get another brush and spray some water on it, because as I say, I haven't managed to bring in a jar of water. Which colour? I'm going to go blue. It's quite a nice blue, this one. Now if you use these, if I just show you on here as well, I'm using this one more direct from the palette, so you'll actually see the colour is much more intense. So I'm just going to run that across. So we're still getting the ink showing through there. You can still see the flowers, you can still make out the little dots. I actually quite like the way, I don't know if that's showing up on camera, it almost looks a bit like a Tetris game, the tiny little dots of colour. I quite like that. Just let me get a bit more water on my brush and just darken this a little bit more. So this is just a couple of ideas of what you can do with these tags. I'm going to put a bit of blue, a bit of blue up here as well. Let's just add a little bit of interest up here. And then it's like a stripy pink bit. I want to actually get a little bit more of that red. I keep saying little. That's a good name for a supermarket. A little bit more colour. Right, let's see if we can get a bit. Oh, that's more intense, isn't it? So now, because this has got more intensity to it, if we overlap it as well, we're going to get a little bit of purple. Because obviously red and blue make a purpley colour. I'm trying not to do too much of the overlap until I've got most of the red down, because then you're going to prevent leaching of colour that you don't necessarily want. But you can see there we've now added in a little bit of purple. There we go. I'm quite liking this actually. So this one was off the hoof because I was actually meant to be doing another spray one, but never mind. Right, so I will dry this off and then I will come back to you, so bear with me. So here we have our two tags. So you can see they actually look quite different despite being the same base pattern, or very similar base pattern with the flowers on. What I've got here now is my Posca pen just in white. So this is my PC3M, which means it will be between 0.9 and 1.3 millimeters. Okay, so Posca pens, if you don't know what they are an acrylic paint in pen format, and they come with a nib that you can turn around and use either end of. Okay. Now the last time I went to use these, I actually discovered that 2 of my sizes had run out, so I've now got a massive stash of them, so it doesn't happen again. So with Posca pens you can hear the ball. That's to mix up the paint, the same as you do when you get things like the Dina Wakley spray paints. There's a ball in them because it's an acrylic inside. It needs to be agitated to get it going, and what you can then do is just press down onto your nib, and by doing that you're actually releasing the ink to the nib. So what I tend to do is do it a little bit and then see whether or not it will just draw onto my mat or onto a piece of card or onto my hand sometimes. So what I'm going to do on this one is use the white to just frame what I've done. So I'm going to go and then just take it along in dots. So solid and then up to dots, and then coming this way I'm going to go solid here and then down into dots, and solid going this way and down into dots. I think I'll just connect this up. So because it already has a natural black edge that Dawn has put on as she's designed these, I've decided to use the white just to make it a definitive frame. You'll also see that the colour here has gone very, very grey, and because of that the image isn't necessarily as poppy. What you can do if you want to is go over the image with a black pen if you want to, a black Posca pen or a black something like the Jane Davenport black fine liner pens. What I'm going to do is just use a little bit of white, just so that you can start to see that the flower is very definitely there. So I'm not particularly worried about it being at a certain edge. I'm just looking to make it just wake up the flower. So now you can tell that there's flowers there. We've got a little bit there, so we'll just add a bit on there. But you can see that there's a flower there. So it's just starting to get a little bit more oomph, whatever word you want to use. What I also thought was, now this one, it's got red, white and blue, it's perfect for the Jubilee. Fantastic. Right, so we'll pop that one up there out of the way and we'll have a look at this one. So with this one, I am actually going to take my black. Now this is it's the PC1 1M, which is slightly narrower. So this has got a slightly finer nib. If I show you the two nibs, don't know whether that will show up terribly well, but the black one is slightly finer than the white one. And I'm not going to do a full colour of all the flowers. What I am going to do is use the black to give the pop this time. So with these toppers, one of my favourite things to do is just to use a washi tape that has words on it. So these are All and Create ones. This one here, I have absolutely no idea where I got it from. I've had it for a long time. But these are my favourite. These are my go-to. So I think I might stick with them. So we have, oops, peel it the other way. Live. I want that on that one. I don't know why. What you can do with washi tape, if you haven't discovered washi tape, it's fabulous. It's low tack, so it has quite a few uses. What I like about this one is, even though the writing is white, it picks up the colour behind. So if I put that on a black background, it looks a bit duller, but putting it on there, I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but you can just make out that it's just a slightly brighter vibrancy coming through. Oh, I do like that. And then on this one, I'm going to use it. Right, I was talking about washi tape, wasn't I? I'm getting distracted. So washi tape is Japanese tape. It's a low tack tape, and it was designed by people who decided that just having plain, which is what they'd had for a long time, tape to work with in their art wasn't sufficient. They wanted colours and things, so they went to this company and said, we want colours, and they got them. And that was the beginning of washi tape, and now it's used an awful lot in the artistic community and the creative community. Now on this one you can probably see underneath a little bit more, particularly on the letter T. You can kind of see the flowers. So yeah, washi tape is low tack tape. You can use it if you get one. If you get a set and there's one in the set that you're not a fan of, don't worry about it, because you can just use it for sticking down stencils when you're using them. You can even use it if you're painting a room and you would just want to edge a little bit to protect the paintwork. Although it's quite an expensive way of doing that. But there we have two lovely little toppers, and there wasn't a lot of work in them. There wasn't a lot of effort. It's not taken me long. And this one obviously was less messy because it wasn't sprayed, so if you prefer a non-messy route, then go for this one. This one obviously is using the spray. You have more control doing it with a brush and some watercolour than you do using a spray, but I love the effect of the spray because it just mixes the colour a lot more freely. Anyway, I hope that has been some inspiration for you. Please let me know if you like the video. Don't forget to have a look at me on other social media. I'm Angie B Crafts on Facebook and Angie Mary B on Instagram. Give us a like, give us a follow, and please watch out for any more of my videos. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.